If this object is indeed technological, it should maneuver, release mini-samples, or emit some signal, and have artificial lights instead of merely reflecting sunlight. For several months, astronomy enthusiasts around the world observed Tri-Eye Atlas, the third interstellar object, after more detailed observation of its unusual phenomena that changed every week. But the story began with an astronomy enthusiast named Leslie Peltier, who was observing it from a hill in northern Chile. He monitored an interstellar object for several weeks using a 40-inch research telescope equipped with a curved cooling camera and a high-precision tracking system connected to NASA data. At first, nothing unusual, just a rapidly moving body from the depths of space with a green tail, glowing from emissions of carbon monoxide and nickel, discovered only a week ago. But in mid-September, everything changed. On the morning of September 19th, precisely at 2 o'clock Coordinated Universal Time, his screen displayed something that made him freeze. Around the main emerald body of Tri-Eye Atlas, 9 smaller points appeared, dim but distinct, moving in perfect synchrony with the main object. In its images, they resembled fireflies around a lantern. Leslie posted the frames on several astronomical forums, but at first, most professionals dismissed them as noise or cosmic rays. However, within the next 48 hours, the James Webb, Hubble, Very Large Telescope in Chile, and Keck Observatory in Hawaii confirmed the same thing. These instruments, capable of detecting the faintest galaxies at the edge of the universe, cannot be wrong. But what was most frightening was the unanimity. Reports also stated that all 9 objects had the same speed, the same trajectory, and the same strange green tail as Tri-Eye Atlas, confirming that they did not belong to our solar system. Up to this moment, every professional and amateur astronomer had seen only one object. Now there were 10. Spectroscopy further revealed that all 9 objects had the same metallic signature: nickel, boron, and high-temperature alloys, like those of Tri-Eye Atlas. But what set them apart from the main object was that Earth was about 10 times smaller than Tri-Eye Atlas, yet seemed to possess a nuclear core twice as powerful. Just the mathematical calculation made the scientists nervous. Tri-Eye Atlas had already puzzled them with the assessment of an energy source of 10 gigawatts, identified by its thermal profile and tail behavior. But the 9 satellites seemed to emit 20 gigawatts each, a figure that contradicted physics. A nuclear reaction of such magnitude within such a small body would destroy it. Even our most modern reactors cannot achieve such a power-to-mass ratio. Our largest power plants weigh thousands of tons to produce only a few gigawatts. These objects are no larger than a city block, yet each emits 20 gigawatts. Enough power to illuminate entire nations, contained within a moving fragment from the depths of space. The thought that something so tiny can hold such power is not just strange, but frightening. When astrophysicists from the California Institute of Technology and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology attempted to model this phenomenon, their supercomputers kept crashing despite all efforts to adjust the parameters: temperature, pressure, plasma, density. The equations refused to converge. It was impossible to fit the necessary fuel or compression field into an object of such size without using exotic metals or impossible pressures. This would require technologies far beyond anything that exists on Earth. Some propose a theory of an exotic hybrid of division and synthesis. Others suggest it may be related to antimatter or the catalysis of dark matter. But everyone agrees that it goes beyond conventional chemistry. However, the main question that troubled all observers was how it happened so suddenly. The 4 largest telescopes in the world monitored the object 3 times Atlas for several months, while spacecraft like NASA's Juno heading to Jupiter, the Parker Solar Probe approaching the Sun, and the Bepi-Colombo mission heading to Mercury gathered data from space. Alongside them, dozens of astronomy enthusiasts around the world were also tracking every movement. However, none of these observers on Earth or in space noticed even a hint of the 9 satellites before their appearance. According to Avi Loeb's command from Harvard, 9 objects appeared at 2 o'clock at night on September 19th, and the event occurred in just 0.01 milliseconds. In observational terms, they simply emerged for a moment. In comparison, the duration of a human blink is about 300 milliseconds, while a camera flash lasts about 5 milliseconds. This was 30,000 times faster than a blink, and 100 times faster than a strobe light flash. It was this speed that caused no telescope or spacecraft to capture the moment of their appearance. The event was too swift for any sensors we have to record it in real time. This may seem impossible to us, but in deep space, such time frames are practically trivial. A gamma-ray burst can release more energy in a few milliseconds than all the stars in our galaxy combined. Cosmic rays pierce the orbits of planets at nearly the speed of light, about 300,000 kilometers per second, which is fast enough to cross the distance from Earth to the Moon in just over 1 second. Even the largest black holes can collide and merge in just 1,000th of a second, releasing gravitational waves that spread through space before we can react. Therefore, Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb immediately proposed a hypothesis about a mothership, a large spacecraft releasing probes as it approaches targets, in this case, our solar system. In an interview, he noted that one thing was certain. These probes are not random. They appear only after entering the solar system. Their power cores are denser and hotter than that of the main craft. Perhaps they are meant for approaching planets while the main body remains at a greater distance. In the worst case, as he warned, these could be autonomous drones exploring our system, or an attempt to take something valuable from our solar system. However, others, like Michio Kaku, proposed a more natural explanation. He suggested that the three Ayatlases might be a comet like Omiata that collided with a massive interstellar object. Since the body of three Ayatlases is much sturdier than normal, moving at speeds over 60 kilometers per second, the impact could shatter it into fragments that retain the same speed and trajectory. In this case, the smaller pieces are reduced versions of the original body, absorbing its kinetic energy. However, Avi Loeb responded that in this case, the fragments could not be sources of energy like miniature reactors. No known stone would split into 9 parts, each generating 20 gigawatts. Moreover, the green tails would not match perfectly. Then a second impact occurred. Another interstellar comet, Swan R2, approached from the opposite direction. It was 100 times more massive and brighter than three Ayatlases. Its tails occupied 2.5 degrees in the sky, overshadowing even the largest comets in history. It was set to reach perihelion in the same week as the three Ayatlases in October of this year, effectively creating an interstellar traffic jam around the Sun. But the most shocking thing was that the trajectory records showed an object on a similar path every 2,200 years. Some UFO researchers claim that Swan R2 may come to save us from the three Ayatlases, acting as a kind of cosmic protector. Researchers insist otherwise, that both Swan R2 and three Ayatlas arrived to take something valuable from the Sun, and that their meeting near perihelion is not a coincidence. Others claim that if Swan had truly been hostile, Earth would have been destroyed during Swan's previous visits 2,200 years ago, when humanity was completely defenseless. Americans point out that the Imperial Archives of China mentioned a celestial dragon in 200 BC. Babylonian tablets describe a splitting star, heralding great upheavals. Medieval European chronicles around the year 1000 record a green visitor with a tail resembling a banner. If this cycle continues, we must be next in line. Despite the vast amount of data and growing public interest, NASA and the European Space Agency remained almost completely silent, issuing only brief statements about current observations and repeating that there is no evidence of a threat, even as tensions rise globally. But inside the Pentagon and the European Space Command, emergency briefings began. Leaked documents reveal action plans ranging from interception to planetary defense scenarios. According to reports, the Chinese National Space Administration has repurposed its heavy program Changzheng 9 for the development of a high-speed interceptor. The European Space Agency is once again reviewing the blueprints of its failed asteroid deflection mission, Don Quixote. Even private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin have received requests to create platforms for the rapid deployment of reconnaissance probes, but despite public interest, official organizations remain cautious. NASA refused to publish the James Webb Telescope's spectra, citing the need to verify data. The European Space Agency declined to comment on current planetary defense activities. Even the White House limited itself to one sentence: "We are aware of the situation and are monitoring it." This silence breeds paranoia. If the evidence is so strong, why is the world not preparing? Some insiders whisper about a quiet mobilization, that spacecraft are being tested again, defense satellites are becoming active, and radio telescopes are being put on high alert. Avi Loeb officially appealed to the United Nations to convene an emergency meeting on interstellar object policy. He went further, calling for the creation of a global working group and openly suggesting the preparation of nuclear forces, not for attacks, but to demonstrate capabilities. If this is a probe, they will study our radio spectrum, he says, and will know our defensive position. We must show that we are not passive. He recommends putting the nuclear powers of Earth, the United States, Russia, China, France, and India, on coordinated alert. Spacecraft from different countries can be sent on their way. The Chinese Tian-13, the European mission Hara, The upcoming NASA Dragonfly and even the Japanese High Abrasive Next can be adapted for high-speed reconnaissance flights. But the problem is that time is running out. When Amur Moa flew by, we had no ready interceptors. With the triple object and 3 atlases, we had more time to prepare. But the appearance of 9 additional bodies shortened the time frame. We are not ready for 20 gigawatts of unknown energy rushing through the inner solar system. October is already approaching. Both interstellar objects will pass by the sun within a few days, and ordinary people, watching the green streaks of light before dawn, feel both awe and fear. This is not a blurry UFO video. It is in the databases, telescopes, peer-reviewed journals. This is real. It is approaching, and no one knows what it means. It raises a storm of questions, not only in scientific and governmental circles, but also among ordinary people everywhere. Will the collision of Swan R2 with the triple object 3I Atlas happen? Will the 9 probes break formation and approach Earth or the Moon? Will governments finally acknowledge the possibility of extraterrestrial presence? Or will October pass, leaving only 2 spectacular comments shining next to the sun, leaving scientists to grapple with the data for decades? The truth is, no one knows. The stakes have never been higher, but the data has never been stranger. This is not a science fiction movie. It is real-time astronomy happening above our heads. 2 interstellar visitors, one with 9 mysterious moons, are approaching. Their energy signatures contradict our physics. Their behavior exceeds our expectations, and the window for preparation is closing. As Avi Loeb said at his last press conference, the universe has finally knocked on our door. The question is, will we open it or hide? What do you think is really happening? A clash, a rescue, or something entirely different? Share your thoughts in the comments.